So kind of like a DJ for music. I kind of want to be like that for movies. But DJ's back when they actually were jockeying discs around.
Geez. Oh, no.
Jeez.
All right, take two.
Keep rolling.
Jeez.
See, now you can redo your intro.
Hello, and welcome to NoTownNerds. I'm Eric.
I'm Evan.
I'm Matt.
I'm Nick.
Intro.
Way to go, Eric. Okay.
So what do we?
All right, so joining us today is Evan. And Evan, you're the movie guy, is that right?
I tend to be, yes.
I hear people around town call you the movie guy.
It's better than douchebag, so yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah. So why do they call you the movie guy?
They call me the movie guy because I'm like super Asperger's when it comes to movies. I'm just a huge movie buff. I volunteer over at the Warnors Center, the historic Warnors Theatre that's in downtown Fresno. And I'm always throwing movie nights. I'm always trying to recommend stuff to people. Always getting in debates with people like Eric all the time. So that's my thing.
Mm-hmm. So what sorts of debates do you get into?
Debates? We've gotten in a few.
I love sleazy movies, and he doesn't.
I like sleazy movies.
Okay, I like sleazier movies.
Chopping Mall is a masterpiece, I think.
With the most accurate cover art ever.
With
hand of the bag. There's no of us don't have hands.
Well, I doubt a lot of people haven't seen that movie. It's very obscure, but it was originally called Killbots. Yeah. And it wasn't making any money. So then they're like, Roger Corman, whoever, was like, let's just call it Chopping Mall and, play it like it's a slasher flick. Mm-hmm. It has a great headshot in that movie, by the way.
Yeah.
It was turned to a GIF or a GIF. Is it pronounced GIF?
It's GIF.
A GIF.
Well, the creator of GIFs.
You get the fuck out right now. There's the door.
It is a GIF.
It's a guy.
This is California. It's
a
GIF.
It's a GIF.
There's
an umlaut above the eye.
Yeah.
But at Chopping Mall School, it's like, don't they actually I don't know, it's this weird thing where they shoot lasers, right?
Yeah.
And the
Right.
lasers are super powerful, but they reflect them with mirrors.
It's an 80s movie, so
Right.
of course, it starts off
Science
with
and sound.
it's a bunch of, late teens, early 20-year-old people trying to get laid. That's the ultimate premise right there, right? So trying to get laid, so they're going to hang out in the mall.
My premise every night.
And then
apparently the security sucks there.
And then lightning strikes a machine, so of course it's going to go haywire and do the opposite of whatever it was supposed to do, right? Because those are the two staple things from 80s movies: the lightning strikes and trying to get laid.
Who knew lightning was so
stealth?
Yeah. It brought Freddy back to life like a million times, or Jason. It brought Jason back to life a million times. Lightning. I like when lightning strikes a dead body that's chopped up, and the body somehow magically comes together like ash. Just wow, that lightning is amazing.
This is Chopping Mall Podcast. Thank you for.
It's magical stuff, man.
Oh, hey, actually, speaking of which, have you seen the new trailer for the Ash vs. The Walking Dead came out?
It's the teaser, yeah.
The teaser, yeah.
I have not yet.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. I don't know,
there's not a lot there,
but I mean, still, I think the concept of it's gonna be cool.
Yeah. But so I'm pumped for when an actual trailer comes out.
Right.
How does Bruce Campbell look in it? Because he's no spring chicken. He's pretty up there in age.
Yeah.
I say that's even better for a
Who's
TV
directing
show.
it? Is it Sam Raimi still?
I don't know who's directing the TV show episode.
I think he's producing it.
Wow.
It's on Showtime, so I don't know.
I got Showtime. I don't have HBO, so I watch Game of Thrones, but I have Showtime. The real winner in the premium market here. I can watch Penny Dreadful and that. Yeah. And Ray Donovan. Ray Donovan's actually a pretty good show, too.
What's it about?
What?
Ray Donovan.
He's like a, I don't want to say enforcer, but he's whenever celebrities, he works for a manager, and whenever celebrities get out of line or something happens, he goes to fix it and cover it up. And then hilarity ensues.
So he's the Better Call Saul of the celebrity world?
Sort of, yeah. Except that he's a lot bigger and meaner. A lot bigger and meaner. But yeah, so.
I think one show I've really been getting into that not as many people watch it is Hannibal.
Yeah,
I
love Hannibal. Yeah.
They're about to start their third season, and it's really interesting how they're taking the books, or if you've seen the movies and seen the books, they take those elements, but they switch it around. So even if you think you know what's going to happen, it doesn't quite work that way. So that's a very underrated show. Hopefully more people see it.
At least they picked up the third season.
Yeah.
So what does the show center around?
Around Hannibal.
Around Hannibal, but it's also around...
But is it him
Farm
as
animals.
a prequel, or is it cops chasing him down? I haven't seen it.
Well, it's the first season. It starts off with the events sort of before Red Dragon.
Okay.
So it's mostly about Will Graham, who Will Graham is played by Hugh Dancy. He's been in a few things I can't think off the top of my head.
No.
He's a British actor, but of course he's doing an American accent. But he plays Will Graham, and you see him meet Hannibal, who's this very respected psychologist, and he helps him with these murders. And then as the show goes on, you see Hannibal slowly manipulating everybody around him, and it's just a really well done show. I mean, the cinematography is really good. It's like a movie. And the kills, the violence in it, it's on NBC, but
it's extremely
it
gruesome.
Yeah, I don't
belongs
know
on
how-
like
it's
super
Showtime,
gruesome.
Yeah.
which is weird because there's one episode where they had to blur people's butt cracks. Right, you can show people having their flesh ripped off,
Yeah.
and
Being
all
like
this stuff,
eviscerated, but yeah.
God forbid you see an ass cheek.
Peeling the skin
In
off
there.
their back to make angel wings,
Right.
but no
Oh
butts.
my
They
God.
pull their lungs out and stuff. Yeah.
There's a couple
This
episodes
is a
where I was
family
eating.
channel.
Like the episode where he had like the people like that he buried and was like making the mushrooms. That was
Oh.
just super disturbing.
That wasn't
episode.
even the worst of it.
No, I know, but still, that
Yeah.
was like just like seeing that. It's like that. It's like, or the tree of people. That was
Yeah.
badass.
I like that big spiral
Yeah.
of people.
Oh, that was
Oh yeah.
insane.
And then inside the it was
Yeah,
like
in the
the
silo.
farm, whatever it was. Yeah, that was pretty badass.
Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen, who plays Hannibal, he does a really good job. And for those who don't know,
Scariest man ever.
yeah, he played the villain in Casino Royale, and he was in Valhalla Rising. So it's almost like when you watch it now and go back and watch Anthony Hopkins,
Yeah.
he's so over the top, and so he's great. But it's more like Brian Cox in Manhunter, where it's more
nuances.
yeah, more.
Have you?
more
I think it's called
creepy.
Hunter with Mads Mikkelsen.
What's
I think
it
it's
called?
like a Dutch film or something. I think
No,
Hunter.
the,
is-
No, I'm talking about That was the movie Michael Mann did in the 80s.
No,
That was
no, no.
based
Oh
He's
no,
talking
no, no!
about
There's
the
a recent
movie,
with Mads Mikkelsen
It came out like 2 years ago. The
where he's like accused of
The
being
Hunter?
a
Not the
child
Hunter.
racist, rapist.
a child racist.
child racist.
Child
Yeah.
racist.
I'm only against.
what a jerk.
He's
Yeah.
racist against children.
The
who is it?
Huntsman,
Oh yeah,
Huntsman?
the Huntsman. I've heard of
Huntsman.
that.
right?
Yeah, it's really good. I think he's just an amazing actor.
Yeah, I mean, like Valhalla Rising is
Yeah.
like speak of like underrated. Like it's I really enjoy that movie.
Yeah, it had like especially the last half had like an Apocalypse Now
Right.
vibe to it, or a Geary, where they're all just slowly losing their minds.
Yeah,
you know, it
when
gets
they're
more
just, like
surreal.
on the river, just like going nuts. But-
That director was it Nicholas Winding Refn,
yeah.
and he's very like every movie he does is different. Like Drive had its own style. I have not seen the last one after that. What was that?
Only
God
God
Spy
Forgives.
one.
I hear it's pretty rough.
Yeah, and then he did the
Yeah.
Pusher trilogy, which is really
Which
good.
one?
The
In
Pusher
Bronson.
trilogy.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Bronson
It's,
was
He
great.
did Bronson.
Yeah.
Oh,
The more you know, podcast.
He was the first to get Tom Hardy to bulk up.
Yeah,
He was still skinny
not
from
the
when he
last.
did Star Trek Nemesis. So
yeah, he looks like almost like completely different in Star Trek Nemesis than he does in Bronson. Then
yeah,
like,
he has
in
no neck in
Inception.
Bronson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's huge in Inception too, and in Mad Max,
and
which is
Batman.
also an amazing movie. And he was Bane, which is even more.
Yeah.
so. But
You fight like a young man. Of course. I gotta say that voice has really grown on me.
Yeah, I loved it.
The Butler voice.
I
Mhm.
like it now because I think he kind of like channels it in Mad Max. Like you kind of like see like when he says something, he kind of has like this like weird like.
Yeah,
Is
I
that just
can't
really
place
how he
it.
sounds, or is he
I
like
don't
is he
know
putting on
how
a bit?
Tom Hardy
That's kind of
sounds.
what I feel like.
He literally has 2 sentences
Yeah.
in Mad Max. He has like less lines than Mel Gibson.
Right.
In the first 3.
Well, okay, so he was in that movie. I don't know if you know. It was called Lock, I think. It was the one where it was pretty much him in a car for like an hour
yeah.
and a half.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
saw the
haven't seen that.
trailer.
It's
That looks
really
great.
good.
It's
Is
a
it-
tour de force.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's really good. It's pretty much just him just hanging out in a car, like making phone calls for like 90 minutes or like 80 minutes.
Well, that's to his credit that he holds your
But yeah,
attention.
and
I mean, I haven't
yeah.
seen it. But
I
that's what
try to
hear.
explain to people. I'm like, oh yeah, it's about him in his car and making phone. Like that sounds boring. It's
trapped
like
in a
it's actually
coffin for
really
2
good.
hours?
Yeah,
Is
it's
there
like,
any explosions?
Yeah.
Does a car overturn? what happens?
what happens in this car? Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's actually really good. And again, he does like this weird accent. And I don't know if that's how he just sounds.
I don't
or
know
if
how he
he's,
sounds
like-
in real life.
Yeah, I haven't.
He just sounds like a regular British bloke,
Hmm.
in real life. That he's like a chameleon with his voice.
Or a Jamelin. as
He,
in-
like Gary.
As the
Oldman.
British
Yeah.
call it.
A lot of people don't know what Gary Oldman sounds like.
Gary Oldman doesn't know what Gary Oldman sounds
Yeah.
like. He had to go see a speech therapist to get his accent back.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, that like, can you imagine getting so lost in all the characters that you play that you can't remember what your like neutral was?
like in
Yeah.
True Romance, where he's like, "Yo, why you tripping, dog?" Remember that?
Or like, what was it? What's that?
He needs a voiceectomy.
Yeah,
what was that
there you
guy's
go.
name from older actor Saruman? The
Oh, Christopher
Oh,
Lee.
yeah. It's like there was like good solid like 10 years where pretty much all he did was like green screen work. So I'm pretty sure he has no idea like what reality is besides like a green screen.
Star Wars,
Yeah,
like,
it's
interviews.
like-
Like, I don't
goes
even
to-
know what's real anymore.
It's like he went from like Star Wars to like Lord of the Rings. Everything's pretty much fake, and just kind of just go for that. I would be confused all the time on a regular basis. Guys with like light bulbs on their shirts all the time. I have no idea. But
I know. This guy fought World War II.
Yeah,
He's made hundreds of movies, and he's like, whatever, just give me the paycheck.
yeah,
I'm retired.
you want me to do one now? All right, let's go for this.
and now he's in a death metal band.
What?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wait,
Really?
what?
He-
This is news to me.
Yeah, he provides some vocals for a death metal band.
Really?
It worked
Yeah.
for Vincent Price with the
Well, yeah.
Thriller,
Yeah,
and Shatner with Ben Folds. You know,
That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. Christopher Lee's kind of a badass.
Oh, I knew that beforehand.
kind
But
of.
I mean,
yeah.
now it's even this is like cementing the fact
hunted
that
Nazis.
Yeah.
Hunted Dracula.
Yeah.
Death metal band.
he was the Wicker Man, or he was in the Wicker Man. But
He was the Wicker Man.
But he hunted Nazis in real life. One of those things
Yes.
he did was in real life.
he was in real life in the Wicker Man, dude.
And his cousin is Ian Fleming, who wrote
Oh.
the Bond novels.
Come
really?
on,
Really?
we
Yeah.
we
Wow.
all know that he really hunted Dracula. They just put him into a movie for plausible deniability.
It's just Hammer Films put him in the movie because he knew what he was doing. So they put him in the movie.
He went to the crypt of Vlad the Impaler and just impaled it one more time, just to
for
be
good
sure.
for good measure.
Yeah, it's been 600 years, but just to be sure.
Right on.
So tell us a little bit about what you're doing with the Warnors Theatre.
Well, I'm the film speaker there, so I go up on stage and
Speak to films.
I'm the film whisperer. Yeah, no, I go up there and I introduce the film, put it in historical context. I just started doing that this year because the speakers they got were either like really knowledgeable but not very good at public speaking, or the opposite, where they were good at public speaking but didn't know dick about films. So, in fact, the last time, every October, they show Phantom of the Opera with a live organ score. It's really, it's not to be missed. It's great. But
So when
the
you say
last,
Phantom of the Opera, you're talking about the original Phantom.
the
of the Opera?
original from 1925. Yeah, it's a great film. And the last person they had up there to introduce it back in October, they were literally just pulling out the IMDb trivia and reading it off, and they actually spoiled the movie. They're like, the scene where the Phantom dies at the end it's like, oh, come on.
Well, now you just spoiled the movie for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. If a movie is in the public domain, or whatever, like if it was a silent film, there's no spoiling the ending. I mean, it's not like spoiler alert. The boat sinks. At the end of Titanic.
That's true. Well, it was the way
They all die in
King
Pompeii.
Kong dies at the
Spoiler.
end.
but they described what he did. Well, I mean, we all know he dies at the end, but it was
Right.
how he did it.
Okay.
And so afterwards, I was at Peeves getting a beer, and somebody next to me was like, "Yeah, did you like that screening?" He's like, "Yeah, I did. The film speaker was kind of whack." She's like, "Yeah, I know. I'm the one who booked him," and it was Michelle Swift who runs it, who helps run it. And she had seen me do stand up around here, and she was impressed by my film knowledge. And she's like, "Why don't you just introduce the films?" So I did that. The first one was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in January, and I just did Back to the Future this month. Well, this
May.
month being May.
Yeah.
Which was a great, fantastic experience. So it's awesome.
That's cool. I saw you guys had a kind of a packed house out there. Some DeLoreans outside and everything.
It was. We contacted the Central Valley DeLorean Club, and one of the DeLoreans was painted red, which is cool, but you're kind of taking away one of the things that makes DeLoreans unique. Unfortunately, none of them had cocaine smuggled in them, like what brought down Mr. DeLorean back in the 80s.
Why would you try and smuggle cocaine in a DeLorean? There's no trunk space. Come on. You could barely fit
It's also a DeLorean.
You could also like barely fit two adult humans in there. That like, how are you gonna smuggle?
and one flux capacitor, one hoverboard.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably like in the French Connection where they were in like the boards in between the doors or
That
something.
was more like
that.
Cheech and Chong, where the DeLorean was made of coke.
Made of
right?
cocaine.
It was made of
It
coke.
was made of coke.
It was
yeah.
plasticized coke.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and so that was a lot of fun. We even showed a suite afterwards, and everybody was dressed in 80s, and it was a packed house, and there was more people than Jaws, which I was really excited for that. Jaws in April, you'd be surprised how many people have not seen that movie. There was like old ladies coming up to me afterwards and they're like, I don't know whether to thank you or chastise you for making me see that for the first time. It was terrifying.
The first time? It
Yes.
came out, what,
I
I think
40
no, the
years
first
40
time.
years
but
ago.
I mean,
Yeah.
in his defense, like the first time I saw Jaws, maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. The very first time.
Are you shitting me?
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like until
Oh,
then, I've only seen
God.
like bits and pieces. But
Better
I've
late
never
than
seen
never.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So-
I had to like seen all 3 before I was 10. I
3.
think. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So there was, I mean, we tried to warn people that with Jaws, we try to keep these family friendly. But Jaws, even though it's rated PG, that was way before
Yeah.
PG-13.
That was like 70s.
It's
PG,
got some
which
hard
is-
stuff in
yeah.
it. So we just said, hey, kids 10 or under, depending on your kid, they might not.
But
No,
there's the
some of these kids
internet,
watch
yeah.
Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then some of these kids, like me back in the day, couldn't handle it. But there's these 10-year-old boys sitting in front of me in the theater, and they're all punching each other in the arm and on their iPads and iPhones. I'm like, they're not going to have the patience. They were absolutely fucking riveted the entire time. I mean,
Wow, that's great.
it was so awesome. And me and my sister were like waiting for the scene where Richard Dreyfuss is under the boat and the head pops up. We're like, oh, here it comes. Everybody jumped like 5 feet up in the air.
Nice. Yeah.
That, I mean, you can watch Jaws or any of these movies at home on Blu-ray, but you just don't. It's meant to be seen with an audience.
Yeah,
you know?
it's totally a completely different experience when
Totally.
you have people around you. Just to that community, whatever sense of like when it is a scary moment, like you may not jump, but if the person next to you jumps, you're probably going to jump now. It's probably gonna
Because
Yeah.
they're jumping.
exactly. Yeah, it's going to coach.
Which
you
is the
into
reason why I don't like going and see
Yeah.
scary movies in theaters.
Well, it's great for a
different
date.
now.
Yeah, for a date.
It's an
fine,
arm
but
bruiser.
I
'cause
go to movies by myself.
They
so
won't
it's
let
kinda
you. Eric doesn't want to go see him in
'Cause
the
I'm
theater
lonely.
because they won't let you turn the lights on.
especially for the first
Not
date.
even the nightlights.
Yeah.
She has no choice but to grab your arm or something. It's great. For all you watching right now, if you're on a first date, go to a horror film.
Yeah.
Get a little PDA early.
But like, check it out because not every horror movie is a great first date movie.
Yeah.
Like
Like I Spin Your Grave. Great date movie.
Hey, babe, you want to go see Antichrist? It's going to be great. Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, within reason, like The Ring is a good like date
Yeah.
movie, I think, or like Grudge is like good like date movie because like they're scary, but they're not like super scary all the time, like really intense. They're like moments of them being
Not
scary.
like Hostile.
yeah,
Yeah.
not like
Oh,
Martyr or
oh,
something
Lord.
like really
Yeah.
Or the
intense all the time.
Poltergeist remake.
Yeah.
I'm not really much of a horror, but I'm a movie buff. But when it comes to horror, I'm very picky. Like I like a lot of the old
And
classics.
that's where we fight a lot.
Yeah, he's trying to get me to. It's like, nah, I don't know if I want to watch someone getting flayed for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's only an hour and like 30 minutes, dude. And it's not one person; it's multiple being played.
I've noticed that with like a lot of the movie clubs around here are more horror oriented, which is great. But I doubt they're gonna have like Jane Austen movie clubs or something like that. They probably could.
Not unless it's the Pride and Prejudice.
Not
and
unless you
zombies.
start it.
Versus
Yeah.
zombies.
Yeah.
Just throw a zombie in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I think, but I think also like again, we're talking about that like horror movies are a good way with like they're better to watch with people. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
of course you can have a
That's
club
a
where
rule.
people like go hang out and watch. I mean, no one's gonna sit around and watch like old French movies like with a group of people be like, yeah, this is really it. It's kind of like, oh, that's like I mean, which I love, like not French, but like Bergman, like movies
Yeah.
like that. But I mean, it's cool to watch it
Yeah.
individually. You can't really have like
Bergman's
a
not
party
really
and
like
hang
a-
out and like.
He's Swedish.
Yeah. Well, I know I said he's not French, but
You know, there
like-
is one old French movie I just saw recently, Eyes Without a Face.
Yeah.
And that was made around the same, I don't know, 1960 was a good year for horror. That was made the same year as Psycho, Peeping Tom, Black Sabbath, or Black Sunday. And it, like, I was surprised. There's a scene where you actually see them peel the skin
Yeah.
off her face.
But like,
During the
but
operation, I
how
was like-
I mean, yeah, I mean,
They
even
got
from the
away with
60s,
that.
Yeah, it's terrifying because like where she's like always with the mask on, it's creepy.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
That's now you know where Tom Cruise got that in
Right.
Vanilla Sky.
It's
you know?
it's still like for being from the 60s. It's still like kind of it is terrifying. Like I watch it, it's like oh man, like she like
Yeah.
like you don't see her face for like the very like the first time you introduce the character, like you see the back of her head. And she goes in front of a mirror, and you still like just to see the back of her head, and it's like really, I don't know, because you don't see what happened, or don't see,
It is. It does. Some of the pacing is a little slow. Like you can tell, it's a story they could have told in 30 minutes, but
Right.
they had to stretch it to half an hour. But it just what it has in there is well worth
Isn't 30
watching.
minutes half an hour?
Well, no, 30 minutes.
It actually doesn't Psycho still has a pretty good pace.
Yeah.
For today.
Oh, I just saw. Oh, a couple of years ago, I saw Psycho at a theater with a whole bunch of people who haven't seen it, and I'm still shocked how well it holds up.
Mm-hmm.
And when that shower scene happens, everyone's just completely shocked. Like, she's the main character. You can't kill her.
It'd be like today if they made a movie with
Spoiler
Jennifer
alert.
Aniston and she gets
Yeah.
killed like halfway through. That's exactly what Hitch
Or you
Did.
set up a
The
really
Hitch.
awesome TV series, and you kill off Sean Bean after the end of the first season.
Who saw that coming?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Because he doesn't die in every movie that he's in ever.
Yeah.
Winter is coming. Yeah.
So,
Oh, you know what? I just saw. It's pretty recent, but I finally saw The Birds about a year ago,
Really?
and I was not prepared for just how goddamn disturbing that movie is.
because they're really attached to
Yeah.
like real birds, like they're like really being attacked by him.
Yeah.
They
And
just
she's like,
threw it at her.
Well, what
Yeah.
makes it
Poor
more
Tippy.
disturbing is that like it starts off. It almost looks like those cheesy old Rock Hudson, Doris Day rom-coms. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
with the lighting and the rear projection and you silly woman, all this.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'll show you, and she goes to find him in that seat. And then halfway through there, when the shit hits the fan, like when I show it to friends, they're expecting it to be like Birdemic or something, and they're just
Incredible,
eyes
Yeah.
wide and like, oh yeah, you're in the hands of a master here.
You know, what I always
Scene
found
in the
weird.
schoolyard.
What I always found weird is that there's actually like a Barbie of like it's like
Oh,
the-
T.P. Hedren.
Yeah, there's like a bird on her, and it's weird. Like it looks like a
Jesus.
really weird. I don't know. To me, that's like weird marketing. Like
Yeah.
It
well,
is.
Yeah, it's like of all things to make. Like why make like?
She does
doll
look like a
shaped
Barbie
star?
doll
Yeah.
in that movie.
Yeah.
Right, but I just remember seeing
Not
that,
at the
like,
end,
a long time ago.
Yeah, not at the end. Oh,
a
good.
bird
And
photo.
just the fact they don't never explain why the birds attack makes it even more. It's almost
Mhm.
like the wrath of God or something,
like the happening.
Who was trying to remake it?
What's
Was it,
happening?
the
Except not as
director of
funny.
Elephant and Gus Van Sant. Wasn't he trying to remake it?
No, he did.
Oh,
he
I
did
know he
Psycho.
did
He did
Psycho.
Psycho, yeah.
Shot for shot,
Which
was a great exercise in
Vaughn, was
showing
it?
you how.
Vince Vaughn, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was so miscast.
Mm.
With Anne Hesh before she went
And I
crazy.
hear mixed things about
Before
Bates,
she was in a
Bates
field
Motel.
and drugged out here in Fresno. Yeah. I used to have such a crush on Anne Heche. She's still very good looking. So just thought I'd put it out there. And if you're watching, call me. Hit me
Movie
up
guy in
on
Fresno.
hit me up on Instagram.
Yeah. Next time you're wandering through Fresno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need a place to stay.
Oh man. Yeah. So what else is coming up at the Warnors Theatre? What other movies you got to
I
look
got
forward to?
the schedule right here. So let's
What's
see.
in June? June. what are we
Well,
looking
June
at?
18th, we're actually going to show The Land Before Time. I remember
Which
this-
is like super devastating. like
Yeah,
when it's
yeah.
like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
still like
it was my Schindler's List when I was a
Yeah.
little kid.
Yeah,
It's just like oh
yeah, the feels, the feels.
The feels, and then July 16th we're going to show The Wizard of Oz. That's old standby, a classic. August 20th we're going to show The Goonies. September 17th is Grease sing along,
Hey.
and then in October that's when things get really good. We're going to show the original Night of the Living Dead, and the original King Kong, along with the original Phantom of the Opera. So it's the original King Kong, except no substitutes. 1933.
Nice.
And then December 17th, we're going to show It's a Wonderful Life, which is, damn it, that movie still gets me
Yeah.
every time.
Christmas staple.
I watch it every
Yeah.
year, and it's all like I cried through it.
I'm kind of, yeah, I
middle
love
of
A
summer.
Christmas Story, but Christmas Story is like, it's kind of getting fucked out now, so to speak.
Yeah.
Where you watch this one, it's just like, wow.
Well, I guess because not doing like 24-hour marathons of it, I think. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if they did, I would feel the same. I'd get just as like annoyed with.
Any movie if they're
Anyway,
playing
yeah,
it
actually,
24
that's
hours.
true.
Okay, I'll get it. You shoot
Unless
your
it
eye
was
out,
Star
kid.
Wars,
Yeah.
which kids would be okay with. But
Yeah.
thank you, Spike TV.
At least we have 5 different versions of Star Wars.
This is true.
Shoes. I don't know if A Christmas
Yeah.
Story will have the extended scene with
Right.
Jabba in it.
Or the elves blinking it.
they replace all the practical effects with CGI. Yeah.
Characters walking in front
Yeah.
of the screen.
The scene where Santa kicks him down the chute, they add like all this obstacles and stuff and flies through.
Yeah.
I started like
Ends
the
up being
bottom
like
of
a
things.
30-minute slide ride where he has
Yeah,
to
yeah.
like the carts in Raiders of the Last Ark.
Yeah.
Or
Lost Ark.
the
Or like THX 1138.
The Kingdom.
Something.
You talked about the last one, right?
what's that?
Crystal
the-
Skull.
Yeah.
No, what the fuck was it? It's not Lost Ark, but it's
They didn't actually. He tried to molest the original Indiana Jones with CGI, and Spielberg is the only one. He's one of the few people that told him to fuck off.
walks in and slaps and no.
Yeah, him and Ron
No,
Howard.
don't
were
ruin
like,
it.
fuck
Leave it
off,
alone.
dude.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I love how when people ask Spielberg, like, what's the best version of E.T.? He's like, the original, without all that CGI shit. Like, he's pretty honest now.
Wait, there was a remastering of
Yeah,
E.T.?
about 2002, they
my
did a re-release, and
Yeah,
they
they released in theaters, right?
they added these
They made 'em
scenes
blink.
that were cut out with E.T., but it's a CGI E.T. And then there's that famous thing where Spielberg thought it was too rough that the evil government guys chasing the kids at the end have guns in their hands. So they erased the guns and put walkie-talkies. South Park made fun of this. And finally Spielberg just listened to reason. He's like, yeah, never mind. I made a mistake.
Yeah.
He doesn't have quite the hubris that, Lucas has in that department.
Well, Lucas
know
would just
if
be making like Clone Wars, like the animated show. Like if that was up to him, like that's all he would make. Is like he's so like having to make all the practical effects and all that, and then seeing what more you can do with CGI. He thinks it's so great, but it's like he's an old man looking at it. It's like, oh, that's real neat. That's neat. Whatever. Let's do it that way. It's easier. But like not like, oh, this is a great way for filmmaking. The people love to come watch these movies. He wants to just go with this more simple way.
Yeah, all he sees is the flaws. Like I heard a story. Drew McWeeny.
The artist.
He used to write for Moriarty. Ain't It Cool News? He has Hit Fix.
Yeah.
He said that they were having a screening of Empire Strikes Back, and Lucas was in the audience. And when he watched the logo, he realized it was the original version. And Lucas was like, "Oh God, oh no, oh!" And he like literally sank in his seat. Like it's literally painful for him to watch all the little flaws that we embrace, that we love. In fact, I heard from somebody who worked at Lucasfilm that he really wanted to replace the puppet of Yoda in Empire with a CGI one. And finally they convinced him not to do that. Like, thank God.
I mean, there's a reason that like the Jim Henson Company's still around, that like they're starting a fucking like another Muppet TV show. That, like people are okay with puppets. Like we realize it's a puppet and it's like
They're puppets?
It's a movie.
yeah.
Wait,
It's a movie, yeah.
Yoda was a puppet of the
And
Empire?
No one will ever tell you that like the CGI version of Yoda
Is the
was
best
better than the
Yeah.
puppet
Well,
version.
I mean,
like,
you're so
But he flips and he's
talking
fast.
to adults. Like we know, like I mean, we grew up on that stuff. I don't think you talk to kids, younger kids, and
That's true.
maybe they think it's better. I don't know.
Actually, I don't speak to children.
There are
That's the
some kids.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Very
they, since they
I'm not
grew up
allowed to
since
be within.
25
Well-
yards. Since they
According to Morgan.
since they grew up like with the prequel trilogy, like when they're coming out, maybe they have appreciation for the CG Yoda. I'm not saying I do, but I mean maybe they do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're right because they're wrong.
Yeah.
But it's I mean maybe that's like what what they could be into.
Especially
so.
if they watch the prequels first.
Right.
Like I heard
Yeah.
some kids, when they see Yoda after watching the prequels and then they see him in Empire, they're like, what's up with Yoda? He seems weird. Like they can't put their finger on it.
Yeah.
He's like 900 years old.
Why isn't he doing somersaults? What's going on here?
But I guess I never looked at it from George Lucas's point of view of like it is flawed. There are mistakes.
Red
So
child.
that it's like everybody loves this thing that like he wasn't maybe necessarily proud of, that it's errors, things that he would have liked to have changed and he either missed at the time or they ran out of money or ran out of time.
I mean, my
or
favorite
what,
bit in Star Wars is like when the stormtrooper hits it on the door. Like
That was a mistake.
Yeah, it's a mistake.
Yeah.
But I still, like every time I laugh, it's like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's a part of what makes that movie, or what I mean, it's a scene
Yeah.
that I grew up with that I always like think about and like laugh about.
Well, they probably had 5 takes where the stormtrooper didn't hit his head. So that's kudos to the editor.
Yeah, for
that he left
putting
that in.
one. Yeah.
You see that
We've done
in a lot of
27
movies.
takes. This is the best one we
Let's
have.
use that one.
Yeah. But
So is there any movie that you would like to show that they haven't done? Or that's
Oh,
on the
Paradise?
list yet?
There's a lot of movies I want to. Unfortunately, Warner's is very limited in what they can show because it all comes down to commerce.
Yeah.
They sort of make a profit off of it, but it's mostly just to keep that place preserved. I've suggested like old James Cagney movies, or I've suggested, and they're like, it has to be a blockbuster. It has to be an old movie that like Soccer Mom and Average Joe are still aware of, like
Yeah.
The Sound of Music. And it also can't be rated R. It has to be like we were pushing it with Jaws, but it has to be PG.
Family-friendly.
Yeah, bring
Yeah.
the family, bring the kids. In fact, I started talking to some people downtown. It would be awesome if we had something like the Alamo Drafthouse, because there's a few old theaters here. There's the Crest, and then there's the one across from Warners that's owned by a church now. And
So
I've heard
Cornerstone Theater, yeah.
the Wilson, I think.
Or
And
the Wilson, there you go. With Cornerstone Church, there you go, Wilson Theater.
yeah, I mean,
gotcha.
I've heard there's some rumors that like some big people downtown are possibly thinking of maybe buying one of those theaters. It would be awesome if we could turn it into a theater that would play, it would show older films, but we could serve beer, and it could just be for movie geeks
Having
by
really
movie
nice
geeks.
concessions in.
Yeah.
If
Well, there's
you're- yeah.
the Crest is still, I think, in operation, but like I never see anything there. Like
I think they
Right.
like on like
It's
every
just-
other Sunday or something like that.
I don't think even that. I've never seen it open in the last like couple years. Like for I want to say a year solid, they had somebody premiered their movie there, some like short film a local guy made, and it was up on the marquee for a year for that premiere. You know, with the date from like the last Christmas. You know?
They couldn't find their ladder.
Yeah,
Take it
right.
down.
Yeah. But there's
It's really hot outside now, guys.
but
I'm not
it
kidding.
was like Rob Zombie. Yeah, Rob Zombie had a concert there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
Because Sid
it's-
Haig
it's
is from here.
Yeah, but it was like 7 years ago. But it was at the Crest. Like I didn't realize
Of
that
all
was
places,
a
right.
yeah that was a whoops. See, there you go.
Now we're all getting phone calls.
Yeah, so we're coming low on time, but there is another studio.
Movie's great. Bye.
Yeah, another studio in downtown. I think it's the Hardy. Is that the name of it?
The Hardees.
It's on Van Ness near Tulare, and it's
I call
vacant.
them Carl's Juniors, but
It's
whatever.
vacant. It's ready to be
Yeah.
released. You know, I've never been inside it, but
Well, I did. I found out about the Hardys. I did some research for Warners, and it was equipped. A lot of people don't know this, but it's equipped to show Cinerama back in the 1960s, which Cinerama is like the IMAX of its day, except that the screen would wrap around, and the projectors are still there. It was 3 projectors, and you got this amazing depth of field. But when I was looking through all the old ads in the Fresno Bee, I was on the in the microfilm. There was one is I found out the Tower Theater used to show porno back in the day,
nice.
and then another's
Also has
Hardee's
some
and the
opinion
Crest
this.
was showing this, and that's a whole nother podcast. There's talking about Cinerama.
Yeah, well, even speaking of just of pornography, that there was a adult movie theater in downtown. So if we're on what the hell is it? Divisadero and Fulton, Divisadero and Van Ness. I think it's like right
Something.
there. It's you know where the dress shop is. That's right there. It's like
Yeah.
across the street from it.
They showed like
Yeah.
well in the 60s before the censorship really left. They were called nudie films, where the plot there would be no sex, but the plot would be a guy goes to a nudist camp or he puts on X-ray glasses and women walk around. Ooh, I'm naked, just like that. And then in the 70s, they started showing Deep Throat and all that stuff.
So when can we expect that movie series at the Warnors Theater?
what I'm saying, right?
Very soon. It'll be a family night.
Yeah.
So,
Bring your kids.
Bring the kids. Yeah, exactly.
hey, they got to learn sometime.
They have the internet. Come on now, something they've
Yes.
seen.
Well, on that note, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So we're NoTown Nerds. You can find us at NoTownNerds.com. We're on Stitcher and iTunes and Facebook and all that jazz. And please subscribe and like us. And thanks for joining us.
Can I give a
Oh,
can I give a shout out?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't have a website up just yet, but my Instagram is Fresno Film Blog, and I'm always posting like things about movie history, or just photography, here around
Pictures
Fresno.
of my food.
Yeah, I'm food and my cats and my kid that I didn't know existed until now. So just check it out. That's Fresno Film Blog on Instagram. Shameless plug.
All right. Well, thanks again for coming
All
out.
right. Thank you.
And see.
Antsy. Ooh, that blew by. That was a whole.